Hello and welcome. This is going to be our lecture video for January 27th through 28th. Let's get started with our objective. Students will be able to find the slope of a line given 2 points and a graph. So let's talk about slope a little bit more. What is the meaning of this sign? Imagine you're driving on some mountain roads and you see this sign. What does it mean? Does it mean icy roads ahead, steep roads ahead, curvy roads ahead, or trucks entering the highway ahead? All right, I'll embed a question here for you to take a guess. Correct answer is steep roads ahead. All right, so slope can be thought of as the steepness of a line. And here we've got kind of like a side-on picture of a truck on a hill. Well, how steep that road is could matter a lot to that truck, its ability to control its descent. So sometimes you'll even see a number on these steepness signs, and it's often given as a percent. This is a percent grade. 7% is the slope of a road. If 7% is the slope of a road, it means the road dips or rises 7 feet vertically for every 100 feet you travel horizontally. So what is slope? Slope can be expressed in different ways. A line has a positive slope if it's going up from left to right, like this line here. You always go along your lines left to right. A line has a negative slope if it's going down from left to right. So just always imagine somebody standing on this line and they're walking to the right. Are they going uphill or are they going downhill? All right, how do we determine the slope of the line? When given the graph, it's easier to apply rise over run. In order to do that, you need to connect the two, really any 2 points in your line. But if you're given 2 points, pick those 2 points with what we call a slope triangle. Slope triangle is a right triangle that travels along the grid lines to get in between the 2 points. So if I'm trying to go from this left point to this right point, instead of going straight there, I go all the way to the right until I'm just underneath it, then I go straight up to hit it. The distance or lengths of these lines gives us the rise and the run. This line down here is the run. This line over here is the rise. If you're ever going up/right, the length will be positive. If you're ever traveling left or down, the length will be negative. All right, so notice this is a positive slope. We know it's positive because it's going up from left to right. But if we traveled along these, we would go right and up, so that's 2 positives. But if you went backwards, if you went down and left, that would be a negative over a negative, which would also still become a positive. So you should get the right sign either way that you go between the points. But I recommend always going from left to right so that your run is always positive, and then your rise can just determine if it's going to be positive or negative. So what is the length of these lines? This one here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units long. And this one here is 3 units long. Again, a positive 6 and a positive 3 if I go this way. All right, what if this graph was much bigger and I couldn't just count the boxes? Well, you could take the x value. This one has an x value of -2, but you could take the x value of each point. This is an x value of 4, and then find the difference. 4 minus a -2 is the same as 4 plus 2, and again, we get that 6 that we wrote right there. Same thing with the rise. You just look at the y values. This point has a y value of -2. This point has a y value of 1. And again, you just find the difference. 1 minus a -2 is the same as 1 plus 2 equals 3, which we wrote right over here. Now let's plug those numbers into the formula, rise over run. And we will get 3 over 6. And we always want to simplify our slopes. So divide the top and the bottom here by 3, and I get 1/2 as my slope for this line, a positive 1/2. Another way to think about that is for every 1 I go up, I go 2 over. So this would be We could convert this to 100 to figure out that this would be a 50% grade road. Very steep. Pretty much impossible to drive a car on that one. All right, find the slope of a line that passes through the points -2, -2, and 4, 1. When you're given the points, it's easier to just use the formula. All right, this formula directly calculates rise and run. Here's the formula for you to copy into your notes. In order to use the formula, though, you have to label your points correctly. So every point is always an x and a y, but now we've got 2 x's and 2 y's. We need to differentiate them. So we'll pick 1 point to be the first point, 1 point to be the second point, and it actually doesn't matter which way you do it, but just make sure one of them is x1, y1, and the other one is x2, y2. Now that you've labeled them, you can plug them into the formula. The y2 value here is a 1. Write the minus from the formula, then look at y1. y1 is also negative, so that's why we get a double negative here. x2 is a 4, minus x1 is a -2. Those minus and negatives will become addition symbols, and we get 3 plus 6, which is 1/2. So right, those were the same 2 points as this one here, and we did get the same slope. All right, now let's do one more together. So I've got 2 points. Got to find the slope of a line that passes through this. Again, label the points x1, y1, x2, y2. Always very important to label the points. Don't try to just do it in your head. Then the formula, I like to rewrite it every time, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then I'm substituting these values in. So 4 minus 5 over -1 minus 3 equals -1 over -4. A negative divided by a negative, those negatives can cancel out, and I'm left with just a positive 1/4. So that one there. All right, what is the slope of a horizontal line? This is a line that doesn't rise, so the rise is 0. 0 divided by anything is 0. All horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Pause this slide if you want to copy all that down. What is the slope of a vertical line? A line that doesn't run. So here the run is 0, but we can't divide by 0. It's just not possible in math. Dividing by 0 is like if you've got 5 cookies and you want to give some cookies to each of your friends, but you have 0 friends, how many cookies does each friend get? Well, it's not answerable. You don't have anyone there to hand cookies to. So it's undefined. It's kind of like infinity, but it's different than infinity. It's just a non-existent number. All right, all vertical lines have an undefined slope. All right, I'll embed a few more for you to solve here, but that's that for this lecture video. Have a good rest of your day.